Hey, it's Don, the Auction Professor here. We're going to get you some updates and some news on what's going on. First off, my son has a fever and flu-like symptoms. We are quarantined here for 2 weeks as per his doctor. They are not giving out tests unless you go to the hospital and need to be admitted. The state is out of tests here in Ohio. On top of that, the whole area, the whole state of Ohio is on a mandatory shutdown, basically at stay-at-home order. So we're not supposed to go out anyway. Right now, all my employees can't work. We're still able to work here, those of us that feel okay on what's going on. So I'm not shut down. I'm just a little limited with employees now. So vital essentials are coming first, as well as family needs. So on with eBay now for the updates on eBay. If you've been paying attention, eBay has changed their mode of reporting issues. Twitter and their Facebook group are probably the two best sources that I have seen. Amazon, I haven't seen any difference in contacting or any leeway in time. I've had some people say that it's taken longer to get responses from eBay than usual. I have not seen that issue personally, but other than that. Now, eBay is doing two other things right now. First off, if you need a deferment for some of your, or most of your, I should say, eBay listing fees and fees in general, they will give you a deferment for 30 days at a shop. That doesn't mean you won't have to pay the fees, and you will have to ask them about that. Putting it off, though, doesn't mean you won't have to pay it. Chances are you're just going to have to pay it 30 days later, and if you're still running, you may have 2 months now worth of fees that back up together. So please be careful and pay attention to that. Now, on another decent note here, eBay has given away 50,000 listings this month and 50 more thousand listings next month for free for those who have a store. Maybe it's for other folks too. I don't know. I don't see anything that states that, but it says if you have a store, you're going to get them. Now, I already have them and accepted them. You have to accept those through your email that they send you. You have to get an invitation to have those and activate them as well. Now, the good thing is, when any of mine go to relist, and it's over my 10,000 first free listings, they're all free now. They're all going into this 50,000. They don't necessarily have to be new ones, but they have to relist once you've activated the promotion. So as of now, they've already covered 600 or 700 relists on my items with these fees. So I'm not going to at least pay more than my store fee for listing at this point, at least until the next month or two, the way it's going. So for anybody out there, if you're worried about going over the limit, you can pretty much use those for anything you want. There are some specifics you can't do, like print on demand or sell a car or something with any of those freebies. So just FYI, read the directions under it, read what isn't included in that email. It's a big plus, so at least I'm paying hundreds less because of those free listings. Very surprised. I've never seen them give out more than, say, 1,000 at a time. So for me, this is a big plus. We're getting 17,000 free listings on this account and well over that on the other account as well that has a lot of listings. So it's saving us hundreds of dollars right now in listing fees. So, I'm not going to complain about that at all. Believe it or not, sales are still coming in. Even across multiple platforms, we're still getting sales. I am down a little bit. Now, I know a lot of people don't have the quantity and the resources that we may have. So towards the end of the video, we're going to discuss some things you can do that are free, that you can do from your house, that will give you some options to still earn some money across multiple platforms. So we'll hit that in just a little bit here. But I can't go out right now. It's not advisable. We did cancel everything we had going on, including a surgery for one of our dogs, just again because they recommend nobody coming out, no one going out, not supposed to go out in the first place. So again, one more time, don't panic. This will end at some point. If you're watching even the most basic news or reading something online, you'll see that China is easing the restrictions. It's only been a few months for China since the lockdown, and they will be going back into swing again. So as long as nothing drastic or something really awful happens, I can see this ending in a few months at the very longest time frame. With like eBay offering free listings here in March and free listings in April, I would assume this might go on through May the way it's looking at. The CDC predicts, I think it's 40-day peak So from this point, it might be 40 days before we see a peak of information. Now, that's again from the CDC. I did read a whole mess of stuff straight from the source on that. So, you know, at this point, it's all up in the air on where this is going to go. But the point of it is it will end at some point. So don't get caught off guard. If you were working a normal job, you'd have the same issues as a reseller would have. But at least as a reseller, you already know how this all works. You have everything set up, and you can sell stuff from your house, as we've talked about in other videos, if that's what you need to do to get some money coming in. Lots of things are selling right now. I believe it or not, postcards are way up, sheet music, video games, of course. Video games have been selling like mad. Books, I can't keep on. All that sort of thing. Even puzzles have been selling like mad. Board games have been selling okay as well. Not as much everyday useful items are selling right now, but things to occupy your time are selling across most platforms, including collectibles. Again, one more time, don't panic. This is not the end of the world. And this is from a father who has a sick child with a fever. You know, we'll play this by ear, not to panic as we go through this. So just FYI. Now, there's still a lot of ways to make money as well online without having to go out and source. Now, I'm going to give you one here that you've seen me using in every video almost for the last couple months. It's public domain material. Public domain is a huge area. I use public domain at the end of all of my videos lately with commercials and clips from videos and things like that that are in public domain. Now, that's one aspect of public domain. Now, people do compilation videos from public domain material. They'll throw a lot together of, say, 5 or 10 movies, box them, print some generic cover for them, and sell them in lots online. Now, with public domain, you can do anything you want with it. You can call it Don's compilation of horror movies from Hollywood or something along that line, just for an example. Now, that's not the only thing you can do with public domain. A lot of people are not aware of the copyrights on books and things. Now, between 1923 and 1964, books were only copyrighted for 28 years. Now, anything that was made between that time frame, those people, if they wanted to continue to have that copyright after 28 years, had to file an extension on it. 80% of all books published between 1923 and 1964 are in public domain now because most of those people never went back in and fixed or applied for an extension on the copyrights. Now, the New York Public Library is one of the best sources for those type of books that are not copyrighted anymore and that are in the public domain. And I'm talking major books like Edgar Rice Burroughs' books of Tarzan, Herman Melville books, H.G. Wells books. There is a ton of books that are now in the public domain that you can do anything you want with those. Now, you may ask, what would you do with a public domain book? The issue with this is most people don't realize that these books are public domain, and for many, many years, we have done this before in the past. I've known people who've done this for 10 plus years. They will scan it, they will digitize it, and then they will sell it as a book, an ebook online on, say, Amazon, eBay, or anywhere else that you can sell these sorts of books for 99 cents, $1.99, and constantly make passive income doing this. All it takes is a little bit of software. There are some good books. People do still read Agatha Christie's, H.G. Wells. You know, Edgar Rice Burroughs is still on the top list of people who love that sort of thing. So you can legally download copies of these books and then produce your own ebook from them. There are hundreds of thousands of books in the public domain sector on almost every single topic that you could imagine. Even if you sell the version on a disc, you don't have to burn the disc until you sell it. So there's really not much money invested into doing this other than your time. Now, right now, most people have more time than anything else because you can't source. Now, my state, Ohio, as well as, say, Dom, Primetime Treasure Hunter's state of New York, has a lockdown. 4 states are locked down. I can't go out anyway. I can go out to get business material if need be. So if I need to burn like an ebook onto a CD-ROM or something, I can go out and still get that legally without having any issue. Everything else is locked down, though. And this is just a touch on it. There's a ton of music you can do prior to 1923 as well. Classics that can be recorded as well. Classics that you can do compilations on. Rhapsody in Blue by George Gershwin is in public domain. Lazy by Irving Berlin is in public domain, as well as many others by both of those performers, as well as tons of other material by other performers. All of these are something that you can charge to download those specific songs. Since these are in public domain, you can do anything you want with those songs, those books, those pictures. You can do a compilation CD of multiple pictures. Like in my area, I could do a CD-ROM of postcards all from a certain city. I could do trade cards. I could do all kinds of things as a compilation disc to sell as a disc or as a direct download at some form. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this, when you're looking for something to sell. If you can't source, there are ways to create content. Digital content is super hot right now. Finding out trending material I've talked about in other videos. Go back and watch a video from a couple days ago talking about what to do when you can't source, and you will find some content explaining some of what you can do with this. But these are all options in this day and age right now of things to do. But again, compilation discs, whether it be of the 4 public domain Three Stooges or Harold Lloyd or Buster Keaton movies or anything along that line, you can produce copies of them and sell them. Keywords and getting good titles will help you sell them, even if other people have them on. This is just a touch on some of the freebie things you can do without leaving your house, and they can still garner you some income. You're not going to live high on the hog doing this again, because a lot of this is public domain, and there are some people that know, but you would be surprised at how much of this still sells even as public domain. So just step back and look outside the box for other ideas. You can create stuff right now. You can make stuff for Christmas if you've got nothing better to do with your time. I know some folks right now who are creating more crafts than ever for Christmas. They usually do it in the summertime. They're doing it now. So when they come time to sell, they'll have a ton more merchandise for hopefully a better Christmas season this year. So again, I'm not looking at today, tomorrow. I'm still looking towards fourth quarter and the years beyond that, because again, this is not a day-to-day operation. This is something that I expect to extend through the rest of my life, and we've got to be on the ball with this. But that's what I have for you today. Hopefully that gave you some real good ideas and thoughts on things you can do right now to still get some sort of revenue coming in if you're having those issues. Hopefully that really gives you some thoughts, some ideas. Thinking outside the box can help you generate some revenue still coming in right now without really having to do anything other than using your time. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
And here is G.I. Joe with Kung Fu Grip. G.I. Joe has hands that grip, fingers you hold open and let close, hands that hold on with a Kung Fu Grip, the grip you help Joe use in self-defense. G.I. Joe with Kung Fu Grip, the hands that grip.